In Hebrews 11:12, it says, and so from one man, and he is good as dead, came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and as countless as the sand on the seashore. I think you've indicated that there probably have been about 40 billion people that have been on the earth up till now. But the number of stars by themselves would be a number that would be astronomical in comparison to that. So is that literal or just figurative?
That is a good question, Dale. By the way, you can only see about 8,000 stars with the unaided human eye, but the total number of stars, the only thing that we can compare it to is there are as many stars in the universe so far that they've been able to measure as we have synaptic connections in our minds, which is several quadrillion. So but that's a good question. How do we reconcile number of stars and sands of the sea with Hebrews 11:12? But basically, now remember, you have to understand that God said, from the rising to the setting of the sun. Do you think anybody in the universe knows better than God that the sun does not rise and set? Those terms are to relate to us. In fact, God uses many of them. They're called anthropomorphisms when we're talking about God saying his arms underneath his everlasting arms, and he'll put his pinions over you. God does not have feathers. He doesn't have wings. Under his wings thou shalt trust. What is going on here? He's relating to us. And so when he told, and look at what Dale's saying. I mean, I'll read it to you. It's Hebrews 11, but look what it says. And the Lord said, look now toward heaven. Therefore, from one man, and him as good as dead, were born as many as the stars of the sky, multitude, innumerable. And what it's quoting is Genesis, when God said, look now toward heaven and look at the stars. Okay, when Abraham looked at the stars, there were only 7,000 and some 8,000 total could be counted. He was 100. He could not have children. His wife was 90. She could not have children. And God says, you're going to have more than 8,000 children. That, he didn't think billions, nor did he think millions. And what the Lord said is, the second part. So what he said is, you're going to have the biggest number that you can see. Think about it in the ancient world. What could you see that had that many things other than the stars? I mean, when you're laying out with your sheep, it just seems like they multiply. There's just more you look, the more you see. So this is numberless, and so is this. The sands, I mean, try counting the sands. What he's talking about is two human-looking things that are numberless. Even 40 billion. Without the aid of machinery, how high can we count? Try and keep track of counting up to even 1 million. Without a computer, without anything. Just trying to write down and add up and calculate and count. To Abraham, 8,000 was hard to count to. The sands of the sea, he's saying, humanly impossible to count. Now we say, in fact, I don't say, Dale, it was Henry Morris, the founder of the Institute of Creation Research, that said probably 40 billion people plus have lived. And now the Institute for Population Control actually thinks it's a few more than that. I think they're at 50 billion humans. But whatever they are, God said, I'm going to bless you with both a physical descendant, and through you, you're going to bless everybody else through Christ. And so, but Dale, it is figurative, and there aren't octillions of people